Well, can I say, first of all, it gives me great pleasure to be here this evening with First Minister Peter Robinson, representing our part of the world. And I want to, first of all, say thanks to the Irish Technology Leadership Group and John Hartnett in particular for making all of this possible, and of course George Bailey for hosting us this evening at Sony. Also want to thank Bill Daly for the fantastic tour that we had yesterday around Warner Brothers. And I had, I have an 8-year-old grandson who has begun to make his own movies, along with his older brother. And when I was telling him that I was going to be on the Yellow Brick Road set, that I'd walk where John Wayne had walked and Clint Eastwood, he said, you tell those guys I'm coming out there. So his name is Oisin Hargan, and remember that name. But it is truly wonderful to be here and to see all of our old friends, people like Elizabeth Baggerly, who has been a tremendous support for us in the State Department, working with Hillary Clinton. Great also to see my fellow townswoman, Roma Downey. Roma has always taken a great interest in what is happening back home. And it's true to say that the very unique position that we find ourselves in moving forward wouldn't have happened without the support that we received from the United States of America, from Presidents Clinton, Bush, and now President Obama. Peter and I come from completely different backgrounds. Peter represents the pro-British section of our society, and I represent those who are pro-nationalist, Republican, Democrat, Irish. And for many, many years, and we argued about this yesterday, he said it was 9 centuries, I thought it was only 8. We've had all sorts of conflict on the island of Ireland. But something very powerful has happened over the course of recent times. And it's happened because people were prepared to show leadership. And it's happened because we recognize that we're stronger moving forward together. Without giving up our allegiances, without giving up what we believe in, we have decided that we can work together in the interests of all of the people that we represent. And in doing so, I believe that we have effectively brought to an end the 8 or 9 centuries of conflict that has been so much to the detriment of the people who live on the island of Ireland. And in the north, in the northern state, in every election that has been fought, it has always been the pro-Irish politicians against the pro-unionist politicians, seeking support within their own section of the community. We've just had an election in the north in the last few months where, for the first time, Peter Robinson and Martin McGuinness were seen to be on the same side. We were being criticised by other parties who believed that our stewardship of the process wasn't all that it should have been. But when the people voted, those parties suffered and lost seats. Our parties gained seats, and we have been entrusted by the people to move forward now onto our 5th year in government together to build a better future for them. We have put developing our economy front and centre of our programme for government, and the creative industries are a hugely important element in all of that. And we are very proud of the fact that 60% of our population is below the age of 40. So there are many, many young people coming forward out of the secondary schools and out of the universities who have great skills, who are very confident, and who are very creative people. And we're very proud of that. We're also very proud that HBO and J. Rowe decided that they would place their faith in us by filming in our part of the world this magnificent series, The Game of Thrones. Before that, Universal placed their faith in us when they came and made a feature-length movie, unfortunately named Your Highness. And of course, there have been many others who have come as well. Peter talked about the Titanic quarter and what was happening there. I don't know, many of you people have seen, either directly or indirectly, the Sydney Opera House. Well, we have just built a new building in Belfast, which will be opened. It'll be one of the biggest openings in Belfast ever in May of next year. And it is based on the hull of the Titanic. And it is an absolutely spectacular, iconic building. You'll have to see it to believe it. And it's right there on the very site where the Titanic was built, where the Game of Thrones was made. And I think all of that argues well for our future. The fact that we produce people of the caliber of Liam Neeson, Roma Downey, James Nesbitt, many others, clearly shows that we're a people moving forward to better times. There will be no going back to conflict. We're absolutely certain about that. We're moving forward with great confidence to the future, taking our place in the world. And the creative industries are playing a very important role in everything that we're doing. So we're going to continue to work at it, and we're obviously seeking your support, not on the basis of, it's grand that we've managed to be stewards of one of the most successful peace processes in the world today, but because you can benefit, your companies can benefit from having an association with us. Because we do live in a low-cost environment, we are a near-shore location to Europe, we are English-speaking, and so the barriers that are there towards doing business are demolished when you come and work with us. And we're asking you to place your faith in us, not as an act of charity, but recognizing that great things can happen between us, that mutual benefit can be accrued by both ourselves and our administration and yourselves and your companies. So I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for being here this evening. It's a very powerful statement of your faith in us, and we believe that the ongoing collaboration between us will continue, because the bonds between us are very, very strong indeed. The bonds between the island of Ireland and the United States of America over many centuries have been very powerful bonds which will never go away. We landed here last Sunday on the 10th anniversary of 9/11, and of course we were all absolutely dumbstruck at what happened during the course of that terrible day. On that day I was sitting in government buildings with Jerry Adams and the Taoiseach. There was only 3 of us in the room whenever a civil servant came in and said that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. And of course we thought that it was a light plane and that it was an accident. So our meeting continued, and a short time later he came back in again and he said that another plane had hit the World Trade Center, and by that stage we knew that something really terrible had happened. All of the officials stopped work, televisions were switched on, and people in Ireland were glued to the television for days. Father Michael Judge, who was chaplain to the New York Fire Department and who was a friend of mine, he had been to Belfast on a number of occasions with a detective sergeant of the NYPD who had been shot and paralysed in a robbery, Stephen MacDonald. So we'd met him in Belfast, we'd met him in Parliament Buildings, we'd met him in New York. Father Michael Judge lost his life. So that was another connection. My brother is called Tom McGuinness. He's a year older than me. And Tom McGuinness was the name of one of the pilots that crashed into the World Trade Center. So we had all of these coincidences. But all of that clearly serves to prove that the links between Ireland and the United States of America are unbreakable links. And so if we're to go anywhere to seek support for developing our economy front and centre of our programme for government, then the first place on this earth we want to come is to our friends in the United States. Thank you.